Welcome to the Unshakable Growth. I'm Esti, and let's get started. Welcome to the Unshakable Growth podcast, where we explore the power of personal growth, inner confidence, and transformative journeys. Today, we are having a special episode called Women Empowerment Through Their 30s and 40s, diving into how women at different stages of life embrace their unique challenges and triumphs. We are joined by two incredible women, Esti, which is myself in my 30s, and Sandy in her 40s, each bringing powerful insights from their decades of experience. Get ready for an inspiring conversation that celebrates strength, wisdom, and empowerment through every age. Please introduce yourself. My name is Esti, and I just turned 30 by the end of 2024. So I'm originally from Malaysia, and I just moved to Sydney, Australia 2.5 years ago. So currently I'm working in one of the luxury hotels here in Sydney, and it's a really exciting journey for me here in Australia.
So my name is Sandy Powell. I was born and raised in Germany, and now I live in Melbourne, Florida. I've been here since 2008. And yes, I live here with my family, my husband, my 4-year-old daughter, and my 14-year-old Maltese puppy. And I am a personal development coach, and my focus is on mindfulness and self-care.
How have your views on self-worth and confidence evolved over time? I can share with you that I grew up very shy and introverted. I'm not really confident about myself since young, and I'm really afraid of how other people think of what I wear, what I do. And so there's this story that I may have shared before in one of my videos or podcasts. I'm very cautious of how other people think of me. So when I was in my high school days, I have worn this. We have this uniform which is in a bright blue color. And there's this one day where my father came to pick me up from school, and he was like, "Let's go for dinner before going back home," right? And I was wearing this bright blue uniform, and I was really reluctant to get down of the car because I may be the attention in the food court, which I don't want to. But my dad tried to persuade me in many different ways, but I said, no, I'll just stay in the car. You go and have your dinner. So I was waiting for him for about 30 minutes to have his dinner before we head back home. So I realized through these experiences, I realized that I cannot stay this way anymore as I grew older. I feel like I need to really speak up, I need to be seen, and I need to be heard and be more confident about myself. So since moving to Australia, I have taken small steps to build on my confidence, trying new activities like dancing, bouldering, doing some hiking, skydiving, take up some public speaking course, and learning a lot more on personal development. So through learning all these new skills and understanding myself better, as in what is my strength and what I truly want for myself, my view on my self-worth has changed since then. I realized that I should not settle for what other people want or what seems to be best for me, but what I really want for myself. When I was younger, I can say most of the time, I really spend most of my time doing things that what the norm or the society wants me to do. It's like, study hard, get good grades, and maybe don't go party. So I think deep inside of me, I want more than what the norm or the society wants me to do. I wanted to be someone that experienced new things, to have more fun and to be more adventurous. But back then I was too shy and too introverted to do things that some other people might not think it's a norm. So now that I've grew up and I know myself better, I'm taking my time to try different experiences. As I shared previously, trying dancing and new activities. And I think surrounding myself with supportive community really helps me to develop myself further. And lastly, and most importantly, I think don't settle for the less.
Over the years, I just have to come to trust myself more, right? I feel like in the beginning, when you're starting out, like you don't have the experience, you don't have the confidence in yourself, and so things seem a lot like a bigger deal when things don't work out, and you're like, oh my God, at least with me, right? So I was struggling a lot, and yeah, I was like making a big deal out of things, right? Where I'm now, over the years, I'm like, oh, okay, like I know that I can handle this, like I can handle things, and I don't have to freak out as much, or like, I feel like you become, yeah, like I said, more trusting, more confident in yourself and your abilities over the years. So yeah, now I'm in my 40s. I just turned 40 last year in April in 2024. And so yeah, I feel like, yeah, it's like a new leaf. I stepped even more into myself, and yeah, I just embrace myself and my quirkiness even more than I did before.
How have your career priorities or personal ambitions shifted over the years? I think career always remains one of my main priorities. So people who knows me, they know that I put in the hours um, in work and to strive for results and continuously looking ways to improve myself professionally. And now, personal wise, I would say I'm putting it more focus in terms of traveling and trying new experiences. So just to share, in 2024, I've actually traveled to quite a few places. I would say about 5 to 6 places. Yeah, and really experience new experiences like doing skydiving, which is jumping off the moving plane from 15,000 feet, and hike Mount Kota Kinabalu. So this mountain is actually located in Malaysia, Sabah, and the altitude of this mountain is actually 4,096 meters. So it's close to 15,000 feet. So imagine those experiences that I've got over this travel period with my friends. It's really amazing, and I believe it's a once in a lifetime experience. So yeah, I think I've been putting a little bit more focus on this in personal perspective.
In my 20s and 30s, I was more, career driven, I guess, and trying to find that space for myself. And then I got married right before I was 30. And then, we started to build a life together. So it slowly shifted. We both are still focused on careers, but then we also started to build our own family. And so it basically has shifted for me a lot because, like becoming a mom is definitely, it's quite a journey. I love it. I love being a mom, but it also is challenging trying to balance a career and being a full-time mom. It's I homeschool her. She's 4, like I said, and so she's with me quite a lot, and it's not always easy to still do my job and take good care of her. But it's just one of those things. You just figure it out as you go along. Things ever changing, ever evolving, and I think, like you said, FC, I think over the years you communicate better, right? So it's good to have the communication open and ask for support when you need it, and just kind of we have a bit of a family meeting over the weekend of like what the next week looks like and things like that. So just so we are all clear on what this looks like and what everybody needs to do and where the support needs to be and things like that. And I guess that has shifted over the years, right? Like in the beginning, it was more like me, myself, focused on career, and then my husband and I, and focused on careers, but also, goals that we share together. And now it's like all 3 of them. Like we still have personal goals, we have like family goals, and just kind of, we'll just try to mix it all in there. And it's fun and a little chaotic, and requires a lot of scheduling and communication, but it's our life, and we love it. It's just what it is right now.
What challenges and successes did you face? For challenges, I think communication skills was one of the challenge that I had in the past few years, because I think the way how we deliver our message and how other people perceive it might be different. So some people may get a little bit defensive of how they receive the information from you. So for me, I think it's really important on how I articulate my message and how I deliver it to the receiver so that they don't feel offended about it. Because at the end of the day, it's for us to achieve that mutual goal that we want to achieve, no matter if it's in workplace or it's in a personal setting with the family members or with your partner. So I think communication skills is one of the challenge that I have faced for the past few years, and I think that I have taken some steps to improve those by taking up public speaking workshop, and also like attending Toastmasters. Those little things help for me to improve my communication skills. And in terms of success, I think staying true to your path, it's really important to define success, because you don't want to do things that other people think what success is for you, but you want to do what you think success is for yourself. So along the way, of course, you will take in constructive feedback, take actions on those constructive feedback that you think will be beneficial for you. And at the end of the day, you'll definitely be rewarded with the effort that you have put in.
There are so many. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, personal challenges, right? Like trying to find your true self, finding myself. I think something like you said, right? Like being true to yourself and not doing what other people expect you to do, kind of thing. That, yeah, has shifted over the years. I've been listening more to myself and how I want to live my life, and less to what other people think and what other people say and how other people maybe have an impact or judge, you know what I mean? Like what other people say. And I have to say it's freeing. It's just freeing to just kind of let all that go and be like, at the end of the day, I only have to answer to myself. I only have to make sure I am happy with what is going on. I can go to bed at peace. I didn't overstretch myself, and I didn't do something that I didn't want to do, or that, I'm not feeling good about, or that I just did because, my family wanted it and stuff. So yeah, just being true to myself, I think has been a big challenge, of course, in the past, finding that balance, and really moving closer and closer to what is myself and how do I define it for me. And yes, just also my biggest success, because like I said, at this point, I do feel like I have arrived at a very stable me. And yes, I'm still looking forward, of course, to growing more and experiencing more. I love personal development. I think we're lifelong learners, and I'm excited to ever learn more and explore. Yeah, and it's fun to have a little daughter to share all that with.
What are your insights on managing relationships, family, and work-life balance? I think I will categorize relationship and family together. So again, communication is key, and it's a two-way street. It's not what I wanted, right? It's a two-way street. Let's say, for example, this is what I want, but the partner or the family member don't want that. They might have another idea about this situation. So how can we get into that mutual goal or come into a middle ground to resolve that issue or come to a conclusion? And most importantly, it's also to remember it's a give and take. It's not always taking, and it's not always giving as well. As for work-life balance, I think nowadays people are really busy and juggling with work and a lot of different household chores. Sometimes you need some time for yourself and your loved ones and your family members. So one interesting advice that I have recently heard of is, how many people block important meetings on their calendar and will only leave the remaining time to themselves or their loved ones? But why haven't we thought about blocking our own calendar for ourselves and for the loved ones? So by doing that, you can have a clearer picture of how much time you have allocated for work and for yourself or loved ones. And it is also a better way for us to manage our time. So I think that will really help in terms of work-life balance.
Like I said, it's sometimes a bit chaotic, a little bit of a zoo, but yes, it's manageable. It's possible, right? If you communicate and you really go a bit big picture sometimes and ask for support when you need it, I think yeah, it's worthwhile. I wouldn't have it any other way, even though it is sometimes chaotic and stressful and overwhelming, but it's also the best part of my life. Like really, I am so blessed to have my husband and my daughter in my life and to have a job that I truly love. So even, yeah, I take it with all the struggles, because I know it's just so good. That's what I chose for myself and I love it. And even if it's challenging, I'll just take that too.
How have your approaches to physical and mental health evolved with age? So back in Malaysia, I tend to drive a lot. I also believe that because the public transport or the walkway, the pathways, is not as good as what we have here in Australia. So even going to a market which takes about 15 minutes walk, I will drive to the market instead of taking the walk. So, and I also realized that I did not prioritize my health as much back in Malaysia because I thought that I was young and I'll always be healthy. There's no weekly exercise for me, and I can be gasping for air after like one flight of stairs. So that's not good for my health. And since moving to Australia, I have been more actively taking care of my physical health, walking a little bit more, going to Pilates classes every week. And I really see a lot of benefits in terms of how my body change, like for the muscle mass and also the weight as well. I think these are all the benefits from the consistent effort that I've put in. And in terms of mental health, I would say a lot of people tend to put in or focus a lot of negative things that happen in their life. But for me, I always tend to see the good things in whatever that happens because there will always also be some good things in the bad things. So I think by doing so, by focusing on the positive, focusing on the good, you tend to develop your brain to be in a positive state for most of the time. And you will be feeling a little bit less stressful in life. And I think that's really good for the mental health.
Yes, I'm taking way better care of myself now than I was way before. I feel like, yeah, it comes with age, doesn't it? Because in the beginning, yeah, you can eat anything, you can be up at any hour, and it doesn't affect you as much. But I feel like the older you get, the more, it does affect you. Like if I don't sleep so well or I eat really crappy stuff like for a longer time, like it's just doesn't sit so well. It doesn't bounce. I don't bounce back as easily anymore. Same with like alcohol and things like that. It's just, yeah. So I think you automatically somewhat take better care of yourself just because of that. But yeah, also, I mean, for me, it was really, just my daughter too. Like I wanted to get in better shape. I wanted to be able to play with her, be with her, and be healthy and happy with her for a long time, right? I don't want to fall dead like with 80 or like just be like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And oh my God, no, I can't climb with you and I can't jump with you and I can't, yeah. I think that was one of my biggest fears that I was not be around to be with her. So yes, there was definitely a very big shift of taking good care of myself so I can ensure our both survival and being together for a long and happy time. I mean, also my husband, of course, but like, my daughter just gave me a little bit more of a boost on that.
What about mental health?
Mental health. Oh, yes. I went on a long journey, basically. I did have some darker days ahead of me or behind me, better said. Um, I had some miscarriages and I felt really stuck in my career and things like that. And so, um, I went on a journey to find myself and to evolve further, because I felt really stuck. I felt really lonely because all the people around my husband was traveling a lot for work, and my friends, they had to be healthy families and things. And I didn't feel like I could share, too much in that sense. And so I felt, like very alone and stuck. And I basically had to come to the conclusion that something needs to change. And I wasn't quite sure what and how to go about it. But eventually I signed up for a mindfulness class. And it's like what is it? What is it? Healthcare, your physician, your primary care. There it is. Sorry. Your primary care physician, my primary care physician, he sent me an email and saying like, oh, they offer this class. And it was really just, I just signed up for it. I didn't know anything about mindfulness or what really, but the email sounded nice. And I just like, yes. And I was like, okay, I'll figure out the rest later. And it's just a thing forward. Maybe it will work, maybe it doesn't, but I'll try it. At this point, I was somewhat desperate, I guess. It was just like, okay, I'll try it. I'll try whatever. And it actually worked out. It was like, it shifted everything. Like it was the beginning of a long journey of practicing mindfulness. And of course, in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, I'm horrible at meditating. I can't quiet my mind at all. I was like always thinking about other things. And my daughter at some point would walk in, and I don't know, there was so much scheduling and stuff too. It was like a lot to to even figure out, and to trust myself, and to really sit down and just do the practice over and over and over until it becomes the habit and until it becomes the routine. But yes, I can say I've done it now for over 5 years or so, and it's improving, constantly improving. And at this point, I can really, I know myself much better, and I can apply it in situations where it's stressful, right? I can apply it in stressful situations. I can calm myself. I know myself much better. I can break out of those bad cycles, right? Like talking bad to myself, or like I am freaking out over something. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Okay, you freaked out for a minute. Like, let's, focus on solutions. How can I make it better? And things like that. It's just kind of, it shifted everything for me, really. So mental health has been important and very, mindfulness has been instrumental, which is then why I turned around and wanted to teach it to others, because we hear so much about mindfulness, but not many people know how to implement it into their daily life, And so I wanted to help with that.
Share one piece of advice that you would provide to women your age. Keep improving yourself and don't settle for less.
I would just say, trust yourself, have fun, and just really go deep and live the life that you want. Like really just go out there and have a blast, because, you don't know how many years you have. You don't know how much time there is, and just live it fully, and don't live it for anybody else, and don't feel crappy, right? Like really go for, what do I want to feel more of? How do I want to live my life? What are my goals? What does my future look like? And just try and strive to hidden it, go for it. Just go all in. And I think it applies to any age. I would tell it to anybody at any age. But yes, you can have it all. You just may not have it all at the same time, right? But you can go for it.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Unshakable Growth. Today, we have explored the incredible journeys of women navigating their 30s and 40s, sharing valuable insights into confidence, career growth, work-life balance, and well-being. From redefining self-worth to embracing shifts in priorities and managing relationships and careers, our stories have shown that empowerment is a lifelong journey, one filled by resilience, adaptability, and self-compassion. We hope our stories have inspired you to reflect your own path and empowered you to take the next step towards your personal and professional growth. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with someone who could use a boost of empowerment, and let us know your biggest takeaway. Until next time, keep growing, keep thriving, and remember, you are unshakable. Thanks for tuning in the Unshakable Growth. Stay unshakable, and I'll catch you in the next episode.